Hey, I just got done shopping around at WB. I picked up a couple comics, Gates of Gotham 1 and 2, and I also got a fine detail brush. I was looking for one of these for a while, and now I have one, so I'm happy. And I didn't break the bank for once. I was thinking about getting into Pathfinder, and that, if I want a hard copy of the book, that is, it's like $50 for the core rule book, which isn't bad, I suppose, considering the guy told me it was like 2 books in one. But the book is like 800 pages or something like that. That's what it felt like. It was also hardcover, so I'm sure that had to do with the price. And apparently there's not an abridged version. You know, it's something that I could quickly reference through as I go along. Looks like I'll have to commandeer digital copies of the books that I need if I ever hope to get into Pathfinder. And note that that is not a confession to do anything illegal. I'm just simply stating that I may have to. I may. Who knows? We'll see. And now the journey home. This walk will be something. Gotta go all the way down there. See where that hill is? Past that. By the way, my feet are still fine. You know, after you've been walking a long time, and when you stop and then start back up with walking, and your feet are like killing you because they're raw. Well, not raw, but yeah, tender. Yeah, there's a little bit of that, but you know, it's not so bad. One thing you gotta be careful about when you're walking in flip-flops is the debris. You know, little bits of glass and stuff. I actually take pretty decent care of my feet, so they're relatively soft. And let me tell you, they get cut like nobody's business. Just like my hands, actually. I mean, my hands aren't soft, but yeah. Did I mention how much I really dislike it when people don't use turn signals? You know, I just realized the waitress that I tipped from the restaurant, I just gave her like a 50% tip. Well, it was more like 45, but yeah, it's a pretty big tip now that I think about it. I'm used to spending like 20 something on a meal or something like that. So when I gave her like $30, I was, well, not 30. When I gave her $3, I was like, you know, that's respectable. And then I think back on the total and I was like, whoa, that was a bit. smell lighter fluid. So yeah, we're almost at the crest of the hill, and then we'll be about halfway there. I remember when I was in high school, when I would come walking out like this, I used to really hate it, especially when I missed the bus. That was the worst. Now that I'm older, I don't hate it, but I still don't like it very much. Still, you gotta get some exercise in every now and then, right? And I find the easiest way to walking somewhere of some distance is to just put one foot in front of the other, keep your mind occupied with anything but what you're doing, which is walking along distance. I don't even know if you guys can actually hear me. And I apologize for that. There's the bus coming up to pick these two people up. I will not be taking the bus, especially since this one's outbound, and I don't want outbound if I was to catch the bus. I don't even have the money for the bus, so that's right out anyways. You know, I actually remember when there was a building here, Warwick Kids Academy, sorry. Back in the day, when I was going to the YMCA after school was out, the bus would stop here and then go across the street to the YMCA. Fun times. Oh, you know what? My memory was mistaken. I thought that the building was here, but it's actually right here. I'll probably cut that bit out. So back in the day, we used to actually stop here to drop some kids off at Warwick Kids Academy, then over to the YMCA. And let me say, the YMCA has actually gotten a few upgrades since I was a kid. For instance, I don't know if you can see it or not, but all that glass bit was not there. That front lobby area, which is where the glass is basically, was one story. And the fitness area was like not that big, which is above the lobby. You got the rose garden. It's always been well tended. Shell gas station. Every now and then they have some decent gas prices, but they haven't for a while. My dad used to be friends with the owners, who were Korean, like me. Well, not exactly like me, but yeah. I remember just a random memory of when I was younger. We stopped here one day and I got some cherry Jolly Ranchers. And it was like excruciatingly hot. So by the time we got home, Jolly Ranchers were pretty much melted into a solid block. Because you know how they come out in like squares that are stacked along each other. Kind of like Now and Later's, but without wrappings. So that night I decided, I wonder what would happen if I was to melt these. So I melted them. It was pretty cool. We'll cross here, I suppose. Crossed. Yeah, right through there, and that side entrance where that red awning is where the kids would actually go to play for a bit. You know, it was like basically the rec room for kids, for older kids rather. Excuse me. There was bumper pool, some arcade games like Centipede and Miss Pac-Man. We also had, what do we have? We had a side room for a nap time, and we'd also use that same room for watching movies. And man, one of my favorite movie series, we used to watch it like all the time. The Ernest series, like Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Scared Stupid, etc. Hilarious movies. I haven't seen them in a long time, but I'm pretty sure that even without the nostalgia lens to make things foggy, they're still pretty funny movies. So we're walking, and we're walking, and we're walking. That cloud kind of looks like a mushroom cloud, but a little off. It's also the wrong color, but still, yeah. Similar in shape. Similar enough. Don't argue. During the winter, or anytime it snows rather, because it doesn't just snow during the winter, we get some pretty decent snowfall, and you can pretty much guess what happens to the sides of these overpasses. I've never done it personally, but I imagine it was always quite a bit of fun sliding down these hills. Although a bit scary because they are quite steep. And let me tell you, if you don't have a very good control of your vehicle, you'll probably tip over circling down. I can usually hit the turn at like 25 and then actually speed up to the speed limit by the time I get to the bottom. That is because I have pretty decent control. I'm comfortable with my driving skills. I'm confident, relatively. I still wouldn't drive in New York. I'd still just walk everywhere, take the subway when I need to. Besides, parking is horrible there. I mean, so what? It takes you an hour to get anywhere and everywhere. I think it's worth it in the long run. You save money and you become more fit. some of you guys know what I'm talking about, how it affects certain members of our race. Speaks whatever. I've actually managed to work off that meal that I ate. It was a pretty big meal that I didn't even finish. I got pretty stuffed. Pretty sure when I get to the house, I'll be able to finish off those lovely tamarinds that my ex brought over to me for my birthday. By the way, I love sweet things, sweet fruits, sweet candies, cakes, snacks, juice, soda. So if any of you want to give me a gift, anything sweet, pretty much, will earn you a spot in my heart. Like, you guys don't even know how much candy I can easily consume and normally do. How many cookies, cakes, ice cream, fruit. I love sweets. I love sugar. And yet, I only have 2 cavities that I know of that have already been taken care of. And those were done quite a few years ago when I was still in high school. Here's the Daily Press that we're passing by. Should have probably mentioned it earlier, but this is the main entrance. Seems more fitting. These beetles, man. They're like the dumbest things ever. I keep meaning to read up on them. I think they're like June bugs or something like that. They fly around like they're blind. Or maybe they just have really bad sight. So quite often, they just fly right into you. Over and over and over again. Quite annoying. And they're pretty decent size. Well, pretty decent weight, I should say. They're pretty heavy for a bug that size that flies around. You know, they hit you, it's like you know that you've been hit by them. I've always fantasized about taking like a wiffle bat or something like that and just going into like a field of them flying around and just going crazy about it. That'd be one ichor-soaked bat, let me tell you. Because they're not hard to hit, especially when they try to hit you in the first place. Well, they don't try, but I'm pretty sure they don't try. I mean, that'd be suicide, really. To purposefully smack into something several times your size and you have no poison or any kind of defenses to speak of. So yeah, the Marine Corps Reserve Center on 75th Street.
I don't know if you can see it or not, but pretty much say that a lot, don't I? Anyways, that cloud that we saw earlier that was similar to a mushroom shape, it's no longer a mushroom shape. Wow, has it really been 20 minutes since I left the shop? Huh. Oh well, we're almost home. You can just make out that 7-Eleven sign up ahead of the gas prices. White lettering, red backing. I was thinking during this trip, instead of actually recording, I would just take pictures every now and then. That way I could listen to some music. Because I've been having a craving to listen to Mudvayne all day. I was going to organize a playlist to play all their songs that I have in numerical order of date. Their youngest stuff, or their earlier stuff first, and their later stuff later. I figured by the time I got home, I'd be on their latest album, their self-titled. Probably like on the 7th song, maybe. Star Walk. Pretty sure you guys are familiar with that if you've seen my other videos. $3.49. That's 10 cents cheaper than the Shell that we passed. And not even a mile apart. Sad thing is, 7-Eleven is actually on the expensive side, usually. Oops. My flip-flop kicked off by accident. Beware of dog. And that's strange, I pass this place like a lot and never see or hear a dog. Self-serve. Yeah, the strips. Had a place down here because so many accidents kept happening right there. We're almost home, yay! I can sit in my AC, soak up cool breeze from it, cool air from it. Drinking some nice, cold, sweet tea. Brisk, baby. I have no idea what time it is, but it's got to be at least 3 o'clock by now, if not past. Been out for a while. They need to cut their grass. No one lives there. The dude died. cocoa butter. You know, I would totally eat ice cream that was flavored like cocoa butter. Well, if it tasted the way it smelled. Because let me tell you, that smells delicious. And while I'm at it, you know those scented candles that smell like fruit punch? I could totally eat those. I know that's really silly, but you know what? Say what you will, but you feel the same way. Alright guys, I'm home. Laters.